Hello, my friends. How are you today? Hi, my name is Natasha. I am the creator and the founder of the Glow Up Method, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. Let me tell you. So, the subject matter that has been engrossing my mind that I'm ready to share with you today is, you ready for it? It's everybody's least favorite word in the book. It might as well be a bad word and a curse word, and it's just 6 little letters, but combined together, this word brings up a lot of emotion in us. So that word is, word of the day is change. Oh my goodness. Yes, we're going to talk about change. So I don't know where and how we got this concept that change is bad. Like, if we think about it, we're changing all the time. We change our clothes. We change our hairstyles. We change, the way we get into the bed. We change, a lot of stuff throughout the day. We change what we eat. Are we always eating the same thing? No. But when we talk about change, it brings up a lot of fear in us, right? Like, we immediately go to these worst case scenarios. What if it doesn't work? Or what if I get hurt? What if this? And we don't know, right? We just have no clue of what is going to happen if we move, if we change schools, if we don't go to school. So that change brings up this uncertainty where staying the same and stagnant gives us this false sense of calm. Like, you think about it, at a lake. My mom lives on a lake, and where the waters are changing, it's a little bit rough. There's currents. There's a lot to navigate. We have to think a little bit harder. Is this safe? Is it not? How can I make this a more safe thing? And then you go to these stagnant waters, and on the exterior, they look so calm and inviting, and they haven't moved, and it's safe. And you know that if I put my raft in here, I'm not going to get, torn into the big rapid waters, right? But lurking beneath that stagnation is things so toxic we can't see. It's got murky stuff. It's got animal poo-poo. It has got bacteria. It has got stuff that it could slowly penetrate into us, sometimes abruptly, sometimes slowly, and really cause a lot of harm. So stagnation isn't good. Change isn't bad. It is good to change. And I think that, if you're here, it tells me this. It tells me that one day you looked in the mirror. One day you had a thought when you were just sitting there that my life can be better. Like, I don't have to keep sitting in this stagnant water and accepting that this is all there is. But if you're comfortable in that stagnation, if you are excited to be there, then there's nothing wrong with that. But if there is ever anything that tells you that I want change, I want something better in my life, if you're feeling angry, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling trapped, you're feeling overwhelmed, some of these things are signs that you're wanting to change. Your body is wanting to live a better life. Your mental, your emotional, your spiritual side is saying there is something wrong in this murky water. It may look okay from the exterior, and if somebody was to walk by, they wouldn't know. But the turmoil that's happening and the damage that's happening inside is so significant. So I ask you, to ask yourself, when it comes to this scary proposition of change, is to ask yourself, is that grief, all the anger, the sadness, the sorrow, the overwhelm, the anxiety, of all of those signs, that grief of not making a change in your life outweighs the other side of it? Oh my gosh, I'm itching. Sorry. So if the grief of not living that life, outweighs the gratitude you have from getting the, calm, cool waters, then change is definitely needed. If that feeling of grief is overwhelming you, then you know that there is a better way of living. And that's kind of how I felt for so long, is I was like stuck in these stagnant waters and I couldn't find a way out. It seemed on the exterior, I should really enjoy it. I'm here comfortably in this raft, sitting on this stagnant lake. You know, it feels yucky, the water, like I feel yucky in my skin. You know, I see over there where there's these blue waters and they're moving and it's fluid, but it's uncertain and it's scary. And I don't know what to do. I almost don't even know how to get there. I don't know, do I really want to go there? But there's got to be something better than just burning here in the stagnated waters that are feeling sticky and icky, and I can feel bacteria on my skin. Like, I don't feel comfortable here. And so finding a way to finally say my grief of this experience. And for a long time, it wasn't so. I mean, I've said on here before, I used to say to myself, like, I love my kids more than I dislike Chris. And the dislike was the H word. And I really limit my use of that word because there's very few things that I actually H word. So, but I would have to say, like, in those moments, like when he was cruel to me, I love them more than I hate him. And it just flew out. Like, in my mind, I would just repeat it as I was being berated or yelled at or huffed at or just ignored, like I was not even a human. And I really kept telling myself that, because the truth of the matter is that's what the decision was. I was choosing to love them. And in my mind, love equated, I stick it through. This will be the easier of the two options. So it seems. On the surface, it seemed like only I was suffering as a result of the decision. He wasn't suffering because he was just an angry person to everybody. So in my mind, I didn't think he was suffering. And I didn't think that my kids were suffering because their parents were together. And if your parents are together, that means you're happy, because I didn't have my parents together. And I thought that my unhappiness was a direct result of them not being together. I see things very differently now. I still, again, am still here, a separated woman living with Chris, questioning the decision because, you know, like even yesterday was Mother's Day, and hate me or love me or not, I am a good mom. And I happen to be the mother of your kids. And I didn't even get a thank you, or not a thank you, a Mother's Day card or a Happy Mother's Day said to me. And I get it. Like, I get it. And so I had done so much work yesterday that, like, when those things came up and began to hurt me, which it was fine. They're entitled to hurt me. I was really able to say, is this worth my energy? Is Chris not saying and proving a point to not say Happy Mother's Day to me? Is that worth my energy and time and space right now? No, it's not. Is the fact that I've had these broken, weird Mother's Day experiences my entire life, you know, worthy of overshadowing the day? No, absolutely not. You know, I'm going to still go about and do the things that I want to do. I'm going to feel really accomplished to know that I was able to create this day specific to myself. And so really having this ability to reframe situations. And I know in some situations I probably go overboard, right? Like, but it really is such a critical tool, because we look at change as scary. We look at change as unwelcomed and like, oh, you know, why are you going to intentionally move? You know how hectic it is, you know how much stuff comes up, you know how expensive it is, you know how time it is. Like, oftentimes we go to all these crazy negative things, but we don't also celebrate the good. And so reframing these things, like I would tell my son this all the time, like, I have to go to school. You know, like I don't want to go to school. And I was like, here, you have to reframe how it is. Like, I get to go to school. Isn't it really cool that I am fortunate enough to get to go to school? Like, instead of I got to's, it's I get to's. Like, we need to reframe it. So like, everything we do, like we really should be, even if it's in a challenge, like I get to do this. And so even when I began walking and running, like I would think about my uncle who, because he had the stroke and he didn't do PT and all the things, his leg was stuck at a angle that made it nearly impossible for him to get in a car, nearly impossible for him to get on a plane, nearly impossible for him to walk properly. And so all those things like really would go in my mind. And so when I was tired or I wanted to give up or I didn't want to do it, like I was like, I get to do this now. There is no guarantee tomorrow that I'm going to get to do this, you know, like for my son or for my daughter. It's like when my daughter didn't want to go to school, I'm like, you get to go to UC Berkeley. Do you know how many people would love that opportunity? And I'm not saying that you have to, but you get this opportunity. You are a female, you are an intelligent woman, and you get to go to the #1 public school in you know, the world, which is in controversy because it could be UCLA now. I mean, I don't know which side I'm on. But you get to do those things. I am privileged to do this. I am excited about it. So if we start to look at change as this really exciting entity, then it becomes less scary, right? So here we are. I keep saying I'm going to show it. It is my gratitude jar. It is my gratitude gushings, my glow up gratitude gushings. And each one of these pieces of paper symbolizes something from a day of this year, starting January 1 until yesterday. I haven't done today's. I like to do it before bed. That symbolizes something that I was really grateful for. And sometimes things in here that I'm grateful for are things that I really got to do. And it felt like at times like I had to do it. And I'm just so grateful for so many things, as you can see. But when I was looking at this jar, when it was completely empty, it was a little bit overwhelming. Can I do it? What's the methodology? I failed before at you know, practicing my gratitude. What's going to be different now? You know, all these things come up, like how can I mitigate the thing? And so this is a very special pen for me. My uncle gave it to me. He literally handed it to me, you know, and his analogy was, or metaphor, I don't know which one it is, but he was saying this is like, he called it the baton. And he goes, I have all this knowledge and I'm here to answer your questions. I'm here to share any knowledge about any subject matters, life, family, whatever it is. And I have the baton now, but I'm passing it on to you. This is shortly before he passed away. He goes, and then you're going to temporarily have the baton. And then you're going to pass this baton on to somebody else. And so here I am, and I'm passing my baton on to you. And I'm not saying that means that I'm going to pass away or anything. No, no, no. Like, I'm super grateful for the life I'm living, and I fully plan on living another 60 years. So I've got a whole lot more to learn. But everything I'm sharing here is wisdom that's been imparted onto me, you know, through forms of, you know, either, you know, music, YouTube's, in person, like TV, like knowledge comes in all different ways. And I got a piece of it and I want to share it with you. This was hard when it was empty and I set myself up to win, right? So it was like, what can I do to, you know, help myself? And I'm not saying that there weren't days that I missed and had to go back. And I'm not saying that like it's always been perfect. And I'm not even saying how I started is how I ended. Like I was like very specific at first. Like I need to do just one thing if I'm grateful for. But I'm so fortunate, right? I get to write things, multiple things down that I'm grateful for in a day. And so I now put my Post-it notes on top of it. I now put my pen next to it. I have it right next to my bed and my pillow because it really helps me to prime my environment to say, hey, by the way, I know you got a lot going on in here and you're tired and it's late and it's been a long day. So can we just take 2 minutes, take 1 minute and just let's reflect on something today that was really meaningful and important for you. So having this ability to have this attitude of gratitude, right? Like if we have an attitude of gratitude towards change, then change isn't so scary. You know, like you try to do new things and you try to integrate them in and you see, does this fit with my lifestyle? Yes, many things I did fail at. I failed at my gratitude jar or my gratitude gushings for a long time. The gratitude jar works for me because I'm a visual person. I like the colors. I like how it empowers me. I like that reflection time at the end of the day. It's the last thing I think about before I go to sleep. Isn't that pretty cool that I can sit here and think about, somebody that was kind to me or somebody I was kind to or something I had the privilege of getting to enjoy. And sometimes there are things that I would have thought I wouldn't have. And then suddenly is like, oh, I did this. So I say all this to say that's a change. That wasn't something that I was doing a year ago, but this is a change I really hope sticks and that I can continue to do for the rest of my life because I think it's pretty cool. My goal is to sometime around the end of the year is to go through and open them up and take a look and read them and remember what I've been through for this year. Remember some really cool things. And then again, like I said, if I find myself in those challenging moments, I know right here, I have a whole jar full of things that go great. So when in my mind, I'm thinking things are, negative or bad, I can just have this here as a quick reminder of, wait, how beautiful life is, how remarkable I can make this life myself. It can be extraordinary, and not because I'm waiting for somebody to do it. Like yesterday, nobody stood in line for me to get my food. Nobody went, later on to Starbucks and got my Starbucks. Nobody asked and nobody did. And I didn't sit around waiting for somebody to do it and then feel pissed off that nobody did. I took control of my own life. I said, here's what I'm doing. I did my job. I communicated. I had a lovely dinner with my family. They made me beautiful cards. I mean, I am a sucker for a homemade card. I don't know what it is. Probably because I didn't live this Hallmark life. And here we go. My firstborn in firstborn status. He was the first to come in. He was the first to wish me happy Mother's Day. And he gave me a beautiful card. It is from the heart. And I shared with him my story about how he impacted me. And that moment with him was the defining moment for Mother's Day for me personally. And it all makes sense today because that moment that I enjoyed with him, that was so precious, I experienced in many moments yesterday. And then here came my Dylan. Dylan came in hot. I heard him. We were laughing because all of a sudden Brad and I were talking, and there he goes to the printer to open up paper. I'm like, I'm doing some homework over there, and he was, busted. But he made my card, right? So he was the second one to give it to me. And then my daughter. So she is such a stinking amazing artist. Did not get this gene from me, okay? But look at this. I mean, it looks like a Hallmark card. Look at that. Come on. Look at that handwriting. What is that? It's just amazing. I have such chicken scratch. I'm so in awe of her abilities. Way to go, kiddo. She put a lot of time and heart in there. And then the last one, always, just of course. He's the last born. He had it done. But he had a crutch. He's got things going on. And so, yeah, maybe Chris didn't say Happy Mother's Day or send me a text or write me a card or anything like that. But these 4 people did, and these 4 people are the ones that matter to me in regards to motherhood, because I am their mother. I'm the only one they got, for now. So it's lovely to hear that, some sentiments were the same. They were like, she's funny, she's hardworking, and their cards really capture the true essence of me. And I appreciate that, because I think if I go back and read the cards from 10 years ago, obviously they're younger, so they're going to look a little bit different. But I think as they're growing, they're really seeing the true me, because I'm allowing them to. I am changing them. I'm allowing myself to see the true me. So I did a ton of gardening yesterday. And yeah, did I want to sit there working on Mother's Day? No, but it was a project I wanted to get done, and I had been deferring for a long time. And I figured the plants are going to start dying if I don't get them in the ground or in the right pots, and it's going to be double the work. And so just being able to look out there and see this like beautiful space I've created, I want to get, I'm treating myself to a Mother's Day gift. I want to get 2 new chairs, and I'm thinking about doing like a little fire pit, kind of like, not a pit, but like a fire table. So I could sit out there, have my fountain, have some fire. I love the elements of the water and the fire together, and just really have this place where I can kind of be in peace beyond my room, because it's going to get hot in here and I need to start brainstorming of other options of filming, and perhaps I'm outside. So like, I'm open to change. Just because I'm here in this little corner, this does not mean I want to be in this corner forever. I fully intend on being in a studio soon and getting these things out there to where I'm able to pass this knowledge, pass this experience, and then it'll click to somebody. And it won't, none of this is mind-blowing. None of this isn't stuff that you're not going to find anywhere else except for perhaps personal stories, right? Like my personal stories are my personal stories. Although you can hear so many things, you're like, oh my gosh, I totally relate to that. Or, oh my gosh, that's happened to me. Like, I get that. But change. So change was huge for me yesterday. By changing my attitude, I completely changed the narrative of the day. I became the master of my day. The mother. I mothered myself. I gave care to myself. I ate what I wanted to eat. I ordered cakes for each one that or cakes or pastries that represented each one of my pregnancies. I enjoyed them without any guilt. I had the coffee. I broke my fast early. Like, I did everything I wanted to do. I played a board game, and I happened to win. I usually don't win, or I would throw a game, but I happened to win by total like chance. And I think it was lovely. I got 2 beautiful hydrangeas for my daughter, which was appropriate with my gardening thing. And then I also got some petunias from her boyfriend. How sweet is that? I still have last year he got me a geranium and this little snail, like garden sculpture. I still have that. And so when I see those, I think of them. And so I thought it was beautiful. And then I have, I pulled all my succulents, and the only thing that's holding me back is my OCD and my perfection, but I've begun putting them into pots to like redo them, because they had like grown out of control. Some things I just happen to not like anymore. Others I really adore, so I want to get them in the right spots. I decided I'm making 2 window boxes to go outside of my window with the succulents. So I'm going to try and see if they're happy there. I replanted roses. I replanted sunflowers, like everything. I replanted bougainvillea. So I don't have a lot of space, but what I do with the space, I was able to beautify and make it feel like home and cozy to me, which I appreciate. I got my room clean. I love clean blankies. Like, there's nothing better than crawling into like a freshly clean bed. And I had my blankies were all clean. My PJs were clean. So, I did all that. I created this day that was orchestrated by me, and I loved the sound of it. Although I do have a neighbor across the street who has a child that is learning how to play the violin. So some of that music for over an hour and a half yesterday was not so beautiful, but I really tried to lean in and embrace it. And I was like, I learned how to play the violin. I don't remember how to play it, but I was like, I have my violin downstairs. It was a gift from my aunt because it was the one I learned on. And I'm like, I'm ready to pull out that bad boy and start violin and back. We will sound just as good together. They'll make a little symphony of it. So yeah, I just laughed to my kids. I was like, see this right here? Yeah, this is why you all were not allowed to play an instrument. It was intense, but I was like, what? I had to just embrace it, because if I open my window or shut it, you still heard it. But I also got to finish audiobook. So that was my 16th book for this year. I'm well on my way of getting my 24 and 24, which is super exciting. And I felt like I learned so much in that book as well. So change is good. Yeah, I didn't do the pictures I usually do. Yeah, we didn't go to a restaurant. Yeah, this and yeah, that. But I got so much out of it. I got to do so much. And I'm so grateful for that. And being able to come to this place where change is exciting. Change is evolutionary. We were made to change. We as a society are not the same as we were 10 years ago. We have evolved. We have gained knowledge and used this in betterment. Like, think even further back. Like, are we the same as when there were like Native Americans running around here? No. You know, are we the same when there were gladiators? No. Like, so change is good, right? So I encourage you to ask yourself, you know, have you like had these thoughts that your life could be better? And if so, like, does that grief of it not living up to your, what you know, does it outweigh the life you're living right now? And it doesn't have to be significant changes. It could be a change in your hair color or your hairstyle. You define what that is. I am not the definer of all change. I'm just telling you, we don't have to sit in that stinky, sticky, stagnant water and be good with it. Like, no, I don't want to be here. It smells like crap. I'm tired of smelling this poopy water. I am tired of just sitting in the same spot every day, day in and day out. I want to go. I want to explore. I want to try new things. And you can start small. The smaller, the better. Like I say, every one of my changes has started small. When I try to do those big, bold changes, it gets a little messy, you know? Like, listen, I'm strong, but I have a lot I need to work through. The bigger the change, the harder it can be at times. So, I've evolved. My son leaves tomorrow on a plane to Germany. I feel very assured that, you know, he's going there and he's meeting up with the influencer and he has their, you know, cell phone number now. And it happens to be the influencer's girlfriend as well as mom. I'm like, if something is going wrong, like, and you don't feel well or something happens, just tell those moms, like tell one of those ladies. And he was like, that's weird. I'm like, and then he goes, no, actually females do tend to like be more like caring and more like things. I'm like, yes, these are mom. Like, well, at least one is a mom. And, you know, he was so cute because he was like, well, why does he get the influencer going to bring his mom, but I don't get to bring mine? And I was like, bud, like, I'm just not quite the influencer yet. Okay. So they don't even know what they're missing out here. Because I keep hiding and, you know, I'm fearing this big change of, you know, who I'm going to be connecting with and how to do it. And by now I'm long along the way and you all know me unless you just met me today. And then, hey, hi, how you doing? So I'm excited to be on this evolutionary changing journey with you. I'm here to support you. I'm here to say, like, you can do it. And yeah, you know, yesterday when so I'm like itchy, allergies from being in all those things. But yesterday when I was moving around these big heavy pots of sunflowers and sweeping and cleaning up all this stuff and moving huge pots from the back to the front and all this stuff, like I kept reminding myself, and you know, like Chris was standing there, he could see, he was sitting on this couch watching TV, like it wasn't like it wasn't in his face. And I'm not saying he had to, but every time I saw him, it just was a reminder to myself, like, I can do hard things. I can do hard things. I can do. Yes, these are things I would have before been like, hey, Chris, can you help me carry this over? Or, hey, Chris, can you do this? You know, or maybe he would have seen me doing it. No, he wouldn't have. He didn't do that. He wasn't that type of guy. But at least if I asked, he would have huffed and did it, you know, at the very least. Like, I don't want to, but I will, or no, and then end up doing it. But that's the kind of stuff that I really lived with. So just knowing, like, and telling myself, I can do really hard things is so beneficial. And I think the truth of the matter is we need to do that inner work. We need to do that work where we're clearing out the space of the gunk, of where I'm so preoccupied with what Chris is or isn't doing, or how he is showing up, or what he is and isn't saying, that I am not able to do my own inner child work, my own healing, my own conversation shifting, where it's not like, oh, this lazy guy just sitting on the couch and watching his wife do, all those things that I would have said before. I'm just like, no, I'm not going to use your choices to bring me down to that level. I'm going to use your choices to help empower me. And that's what it was. So I felt very strong. I felt very proud of myself for recreating, reinventing what Mother's Day meant to me this year. Now I'm also like, okay, we've done that one now too. So I was like, next year, I think I'm going to plan a trip, and I'm going to begin doing that soon. And I'm going to go on a trip with my kids. I think just my kids and I, and that's what I'd love, or invite them. If they want to come, great. If they don't want to come, that is also great. I think that that's what I want to do. And really, again, take this initiative and this control over my own narrative and my own life, and stop waiting for things to happen to me or for me. So I say all that to say, please embrace change. Like, I believe in you. I know you can do this. I can do it. And I need to believe in myself too. Like, I need to be saying these same things, because as much as I change, there's just as many things that I'm afraid of changing behind closed door number 2. So if I continue to reevaluate, clear out the gunk that's all on the inside, all those crazy emotions and inner child wounds and things like that, if I continue doing my work to clear out that space, it just invites more room for all the good that's coming this way, and for all the good that's going to come your way, and for all the resolution of all that turmoil and an unhealthy relationship with yourself and others. So I say all that to say thank you so much for tuning in today. I could talk to you forever and never end, but I must say all good things do come to an end at some time. So if you can just do me one big favor, go out there today, give somebody a big smile, give them a compliment, and just watch how they glow up. So thank you so much. Bye.